This is Dr. Dean from the Millionaire Nurse blog. Today we are interviewing Dr. Brooks Gump. He's an associate professor at State University of New York in Oswego. Dr. Gump did a study identifying mortality benefits or a decrease in the death rate among men who took vacations frequently. This research was published about 10 years ago, but it is frequently mentioned in any review on the subject of the health benefits of vacation. So I wanted to talk with him, get his tips on whether he thought vacations truly did provide me and you with health benefits. So here's Dr. Gump.
Today we have Dr. Brooks Gump, who is the author of a study that talked about the health benefits of vacation. And I want to introduce Dr. Gump and let him tell us about his study that was published in 2000.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me.
Welcome, Dr. Gump. Tell us about that study and what made you go into it and what you thought
this was
actual
study,
data told you.
Looking at the multiple risk factor intervention trial, which was a large epidemiological trial that began in the 70s, and they were followed up to see. That trial was basically looking at various behavioral risk factors for cardiovascular disease. So Dr. Karen Matthews and myself sought out a grant to analyze some data in that. And one of the questions that they asked every year was, it was a life event checklist, and one of the questions was, did you take a vacation? So the data we had was, for these, they were all men at the time. That was considered a higher risk group for cardiovascular disease. That's not the case, but at that time that's what they considered it. So these are all men, and each year they reported if they had taken a vacation or not. And so we compared men that said yes every year down to those who said no every year. And it was about 18% or so that didn't report any vacations over the assessment period. And then we just looked at that and related that with a number of controls, because obviously those that took more vacations were found to have a higher socioeconomic status and were less likely to be ill. And we had a number of controls in there. And we related those vacations to their subsequent mortality. And looking at that, there was approximately a 20% lower risk for more cardiovascular disease mortality for men that had vacationed more frequently.
Now, for our listeners that aren't really medical, what you mean by that is basically the death rate was less in the folks that took the vacation, and you tried to take out or block the influence of those variables that you were talking about as far as income status and wealth effect, that sort of thing. Is that right?
Yeah, it does.
So it makes you want to go on vacation, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is we controlled for a lot of things. We didn't control for all of the possible. So, I mean, there's still always going to, with this kind of non-experimental approach, you always got to think about what we left out. For example, I've had some people that have asked if we included work stress, and actually we got around to analyzing work stress later, but in that paper it wasn't included as a covariate, or as a control variable. So.
Well, as your position as an associate professor here at the State University of New York at Oswego, would it be your opinion that in general, though, that the data would support the fact that having vacations and time off
in
general help
people's
people's
a number of studies
physical health?
At least a temporary stress reduction effect of vacation. There seems to be a little bit of a fade out after about 5 weeks. I think there's also enough work to suggest that maybe having a good quality vacation can buffer effects of ongoing stress, or even one of our hypotheses that we've been looking at or thinking about is the idea that maybe anticipating the vacation may buffer ongoing stressors in one's life. And certainly there's a lot of evidence that stress in itself has an effect on disease, particularly cardiovascular disease. So, yeah, I would say there's good evidence. Certainly we could do more work in this area.
Exactly. But as we were talking about, those
Correct.
kind of studies
Yeah.
are very difficult and may not ever get done. Is that right?
If there was some way to actually do some kind of clinical trial with vacationing, which it has a number of logistical and economic problems or hurdles, I should say, but that would, I think, would allow us to get some better idea of what vacationing does for a person.
Right.
I do.
And do you take vacations?
Three. I do, pretty much. I've got 3 lined up.
So
for this
you
summer.
put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah,
Huh?
I do. I mean, it's with everyone. It's take it when you can get it. I do think that I'll take a day off here and there as well, and I think that may ultimately, it may be more an issue of the quality of the vacation. How a person vacations than just literally the amount of days off. People that will work with them or working vacations, I think probably won't bear out to be beneficial.
Exactly. You feel like there really does need some real
when
downtime
really,
when you're
don't
vacationing.
even have the potential to be bothered. Where you're literally the person that your workplace doesn't even know where you are. So that would be ideal, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Great, Dr. Gump. I appreciate your time today, and I know all my readers will enjoy listening to this, and hopefully you'll have a great future in your career. Thanks a lot. Great.
This is Dr. Dean from the Millionaire Nurse blog. Thanks for listening.